again, this is Dr. Rocky Sams, Chief Development Officer with CENTEGIX. And here today, I am honored to speak with Ms. Courtney McBride, who is the principal of Flomaton Elementary School in Escambia County Schools. And so we're excited about this conversation, obviously, and it's near and dear to my heart. As a former elementary principal myself, always look forward to speaking to my fellow practitioners. So welcome, Courtney. Definitely would like to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, share a little bit about your journey to principalship, and even a little bit about your school. And we'll just start with some additional questions, afterwards.
Perfect. That's perfect. My name is Courtney McBride. I've been in education for 24 years. 5 of those years have been spent in administration, and the other was spent in an early childhood classroom. I've taught kindergarten, 2nd grade, been a reading coach, and then a reading interventionist for an elementary school. Our school here is in Lower Alabama. If I throw a rock, it probably would land right on the Florida-Alabama line. We have roughly about 470 children that come really from all over. We are a Title I school. We are about 78% poverty. We have some absolutely precious children here, amazing faculty, amazing staff.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for that intro. It's always, again, good to talk to those who are daily impacted by the work that we support, but also the work of teaching and learning for the students of Escambia and the students for Flomaton Elementary School. So just wanted to kind of start our conversation by just asking, obviously, your district, Escambia County Schools, decided to partner with CENTEGIX and implement the Crisis Alert system. How involved were you in that decision? And then if you were, talk a little bit about some of the reasons why you thought Crisis Alert was the right tool for your teachers and your staff.
Well, we were actually introduced to the system through an administrative meeting, and our superintendent was a proponent of this. She introduced it to us. We had a couple of representatives from CENTEGIX to come down and bring the little cards that we have. They brought these down to us and let us practice on them in the little session, talk to us about what was available, what its purpose was, how easy it was really to get the cards assigned to all of the employees, and just basically what I would just call a great overview of what CENTEGIX, what they offered, and what it would look like every day working with it from an administrative perspective, things like that. And then the school board decided that it was something that we needed as an additional safety tool, and they passed it, and then they turned around and gave it to all of us, and we went through the initial training and downloaded the app on our phone, and of course, disseminated all of the cards to all of the employees. But as far as the decision-making process, we knew that there needed to be more in the way of safety. We do have SROs at our schools, but we do not have an individual one. They are shared. So on my campus, I have pre-K through the 6th grade, and then I have to walk across the street, and that is our high school, and that is 7 through 12. So between the 2 campuses, we have about 1,000 children. So we share an SRO, a school resource officer. And so again, we were proponents of anything that could help to keep our campuses safe, our teachers, staff, children, parents, everyone safe. And again, this was just introduced to us through our superintendent.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Could you talk a little bit about some of the uses that you've seen leveraging Crisis Alert? Obviously, we have a couple of big buckets that we support schools and we support districts in the area of safety and security. Obviously, one is the staff alert feature, which allows for staff members to call for help whenever needed. And then also we have the more campus-wide alerts that are more focusing on those unfortunate incidences in which a school has to be either locked down or locked out or things of that nature. So in reference to the staff alert feature, could you talk a little bit about some of the usage that you've seen? Has it been, mainly medical or some other areas by which, the alerts have been utilized?
Well, we've had two instances where we've had uh, people on campus, on the perimeter of the campus, not directly on our campus, but something that has alerted our physical education coaches and teachers where they saw someone. A particular instance was a physical education teacher saw someone actually coming across our campus on foot. She pressed that button 3 times. I received an alert on my phone along with a lead teacher, a resource teacher. Again, being so close to the high school, we've got it set up to where if I receive an alert or Mr. Brown receives an alert, he's the principal at the high school, we both get those alerts. So our nurses, the SRO, myself, him, we've got about 7 people that respond pretty quick like. So we've had that twice. But the latest one that we had a third grade student who was outside. I've gone back and watched it on video. And when I tell you it was just a very freak accident, it was just a freak accident. Third grade student playing, little boy playing with a little girl. Out on our playground, we have gravel that's up underneath the swings and slides and things like that. And they were playing, and she took her foot and she kicked the gravel. And when she did, you can see it in the video. His mouth is open and a rock goes straight down his throat. Now, what we've had in the past was we have about 4 or 5 people on campus that have a radio. So they press the button and they would say, "Hey, Miss McBride, I need help on the playground." Well, this particular day, because I have one too, but women don't always wear pants or shorts. Sometimes we wear dresses. So it's kind of heavy and sometimes you just have to tote it. And she had laid it down that day on the bench, but she had her card around her neck, which we told them this needs to be on you at all times. And she had that card because that radio was laying on the bench. And when she realized the child was choking, she just reached and hit that thing 3 times. And when I've gone back and watched the video, in less than 30 seconds, she was already doing the Heimlich maneuver on him, but in less than 30 seconds, we had 3 additional adults there. Of course, it called someone from the central office. They immediately, within 60 seconds, they were calling my phone. Mr. Brown was actually on his way to a track meet for his high school, but his AP came, his nurse came, our resource officer. We had 7 adults around this child in less than 60 seconds. He was in shock. We were able to get a chair. We were able to call his mom, his dad. Mom is a traveling nurse in Louisiana. Dad is a truck driver. And so we were trying to get in touch with grandparents, whoever. The rock did come up, thankfully. But again, that's probably right there. We said that CENTEGIX, the amount that we paid in our district, it earned its keep that day. We ended up, myself, along with my counselor, took that child to the emergency room because he still felt like something was lodged in his throat that day. And they checked him out and said all was good. But so thankful because within a matter of seconds, he was surrounded by adults, including 2 nurses, our nurse here at the elementary school and one from the high school as well.
That's an amazing, heartfelt, and very appreciative story.
Yes.
And of course, as we think about current events and things that are happening across the country, obviously safety and security in our schools has been more highly visible with recent events. And of course, with that, we have to think about how measures and how tools and resources are looked at by those who use them, right? And of course, using them is really the only way by which these things can be dealt with and or improved upon.
That's
So,
right.
so yeah. So if you don't mind a little bit, talking a little bit about, obviously the incidents that you just shared, how it's been received, how has Crisis Alert specifically been received by your teachers, and then obviously given this particular incident you just shared, and also others, how is it probably perceived by your parents, which is also, I'm assuming, some things that have gotten some attention to them as well.
Well, this particular mother, I talked to her numerous times throughout the day. Obviously, she's in Louisiana, cannot get to her baby.
Mhm.
And so, as a mama, I'm on the phone with her, just reassuring her, hey, we've got him. He is breathing. He is okay. Um, this happened on a Friday, and I talked to her again on Saturday, talked to her on Sunday, and again on Monday. She was so gracious and so thankful um, that we had something in place where we responded as quickly as we did. And I told her, I said, listen, I've looked at the video. We're talking less than 30 seconds. He was surrounded by adults. It was just amazing to me. And the fact that when Coach Vickery hit that button on the playground, the alert immediately comes to my phone. The richest blessing to me in all of it was I know who has pressed the button and I
Mhm.
know where she is located. It said Leah Vickery, playground. So I knew that she was out on the playground. I knew so I knew that it was something that she could not get to that radio and didn't need to, because again, that's what the purpose of the CENTEGIX card is for. So it has been widely received. We have tried to even advertise it on our social media page back in, I believe, February, maybe whenever it came out. We wanted parents to know this is an extra safety precaution that we have here at the school. And I know as a mama that, we can talk about a warm, fuzzy feeling. Safety, I think, is something that a lot of people talk about. It's not something that, to me, sometimes it's a lot of talk and not a lot of action.
Mhm.
I believe that this is safety in action. It backs our talk when we say children cannot learn if they do not feel safe.
Mhm.
Parents do not feel comfortable dropping their babies off in a place where there's no safety protocol. Obviously every school has, you know, our practicing that we do for lockdowns and fire drills and all those kind of things. But this to me is an extra thick layer of safety that is immediate.
Mhm.
Again, you got somebody on the scene within a matter of seconds, and you press that button more than 3 times, you're fixing to have police. Everybody is coming, and the response time, I know, is going to be just as fast, because that day our resource officer also gets these alerts, and he was on that playground. I think for him, because he was at the high school, I think it was about a minute and 12 seconds it took him to respond. It was not long at all. Of course, it feels like a long time when you're in an emergency situation, but again, we had the child surrounded and covered, and we were already on the phone with mama by the time our resource officer even was there. So again, widely accepted. I know that day our PE coach even made the same comment to me that I've said to you: whatever we spent on this product, it just earned its keep right here today.
Well, one of the things at CENTEGIX we often say is that, time can be your greatest asset or adversary, depending on the situation
That's
and
right.
subject. And in this instance, obviously time was critical as relates to the response time, location identification, notification, all of those pieces come together at once in order for those of you who are responsible for responding, yourself and others, to be able to be on the scene and provide the level of support necessary for that student. And of course, again, there's a lot of things out there that are in addition to or in support of your safety and security protocols. But we are one, major piece, sounds like, of the way in which your district and your school chooses to respond to these kinds of situations. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, we're dealing with a barrage of situations that schools are dealing with, and I'm pretty confident during my days of a principal, I would be hit with those if I was still a principal today. And those conversations are real, right? Your teachers are coming to you, making sure that hey, we have protocols in place. Obviously with the support of the district and providing school resource officers. There are a lot of districts who do not have even a shared resource officer like you have with your high school. But again, it's just being able to provide that level of comfort to your faculty and staff, your students and parents, and any other stakeholders that are involved in this process. So is there anything you can think of that gives you sort of, because you have crisis alert and because your district has made this investment, that gives you an advantage over, say, neighboring districts who may not have made the choice in relationship to teacher recruitment, for example? Like, we have superintendents that we've spoken to most recently who said that they have specifically mentioned crisis alert, or at least some type of safety measures which crisis alert falls under, in their school in their teacher recruitment and even administrative recruitment efforts. Has your district, or have you thought about how to leverage that type of information, or have you actually done it already?
Well, I have not from the school level. Honestly, we have positions posted now. We're going to begin interviews tomorrow. When I sell my school, because you're selling your brand. I mean,
Yes.
that's what you're doing, because it's competitive. I'm
Yes.
in an amazing place, an amazing school, and so I'm sitting pretty when it comes to interviewing amazing candidates. This is what I always think about. I think about the mama side.
Hmm.
I, a lot of people that we interview, they're parents.
Hmm.
And a lot of people that you hire, they're going to bring their babies with them whenever you hire them. And that's what you want. You want fresh blood, fresh people. There's no greater compliment to a school than someone that you hire, entrusting that school with the education and well being of their greatest treasure. And so, as a mama, to me, it when you say safety is not just something that we talk about, it's something that we've invested in. And here's what this investment looks like. It doesn't look like much because you can put it in your hand and wear it around your neck and you don't even really know that it's there.
Right.
But when you need it, it's,
Yes.
again, the response time. Again, I go back to this response. Had she had to have left that kid
Mhm.
or gotten another kid to go and get the radio to bring back to her, that's time where she could have been performing a life-saving maneuver on this child. To have to stop and call, or it isn't working, now what do I do? Again, it buys you time,
Mhm.
and time is a gift when there is an emergency. There is no doubt about that. And it's like if you have an intruder come into the office and you feel uncomfortable about it, something isn't right. You press that button so many times, and within just a matter of seconds, we're fixing to be surrounded, and they're coming. That
Mhm.
gives me great comfort as an employee, as the lead defender of my people and my school and my kids and my community. I mean, I'm the first line of defense, and I understand that. And so it gives me great comfort as the leader, and it also gives me great comfort as a mama, because I'm a school mama here. My job is to be a mama to 470 something children, and to know that at the push of a button, within seconds, help is coming. I don't know that there are words or a price that you can put on someone's life, or the comfort that they feel, a parent or an employee. I don't think that there are dollar signs you can put behind that. I
Mm.
don't know that there are even accurate words. I don't feel like I'm accurately really depicting how I really feel about it. But again, I'm so thankful that our superintendent and our system and our school board saw that, hey, safety doesn't need to be something that we talk about. It needs to be something that we put into action that's viable, that people can see. And I haven't even mentioned this. When CENTEGIX came in and put everything in, it did not take them long. The
Mm.
the equipment is not bulky. It's hidden. If you weren't looking, it just looks like a little router plugged into the wall. It's got like a little white dome over it. It's nothing that the children have messed with. It again, they came at night. They didn't come during the day, so they waited till most people were off campus. I was still here whenever they came at night. They ran the wiring. It was very quick. Um, they were not in anyone's way. Nothing. They came in, they did what they needed to do, and the next thing we know, we're getting training within a day or two after it was all wired. So it happened very, very, very quickly, and so we have just been very pleased.
Well, there's no greater testimonial that we can receive than what you just shared. Not only the vantage point of how it supports comfort, of your staff, of your students, of your parents, the stakeholders, yourself as the lead supporter in your school, but also just the partnership aspect, right? CENTEGIX as an organization truly does think about ourselves as partners with our school districts and our schools. And we try to, support not only the implementation process as seamlessly as possible, but also less invasive, right? So we don't want to disrupt the learning environment, primarily because we believe that the best teaching and learning environment is the most safe and secure learning environment. And if we can support that and give teachers that level of comfort, give students that level of comfort, give parents that level of comfort, then we're supporting the maximization of the learning process. And thus, obviously, that is the most important aspect of what a school is responsible for. And so I think about my previous experiences, and I think about, if I would have had a tool like CrisisAlert, there's many instances where I could have, leveraged a tool like this that would have made situations a whole lot better, right? And so I'm thankful to hear stories like yours, the positives and relationships to what we are doing in support of the work that you're doing on a daily basis in providing that safe, secure environment for your students. And we're honored that you've chosen to share your story with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we didn't get a chance to talk about, that I didn't get a chance to ask, that you would like anyone who watches this video to hear from you that I didn't get a chance to share?
Well, I think there's one more thing. A lot of times when something new is introduced, especially to teachers, it
Mhm.
feels like here's something else. Oh,
One
this is
more
something else. One more thing that I have to do, one more thing that I have to learn. First of all, the training was myself along with my lead teacher. Everybody who gets the alert, that was who was in that initial training. They
thing.
showed us how to download it on our phone. It was seamless, painless. It was about an hour training.
Mhm.
We turn around, we take the little machine that was provided to us where you can assign, all of the cards to people. It really was not a lot of work at all.
Mhm.
We turned around, gave everybody their card.
Mhm.
It was not something else that you had to do. What we told them was, listen, all of these little domes that you see in your room, they're going to light up. And we gave just a really quick training, and we're talking less than 30 minutes. You
Mhm.
all provided us a PowerPoint. We took slides out of that PowerPoint, the ones that we felt were pertinent to what I would call the boots on the ground,
Mhm.
those staff members, teacher members, lunchroom workers. We gave them that PowerPoint, went over that one afternoon, and that was it. So they are ready to go. Now the only thing we'll have to do when school starts back is get out our new cards for any new employees, take them through this little 20-30 minute training that basically says, hey, press 3 times for this, and press it all you want to if it's something any greater than that, which is basically what we've told them.
Right.
We are just so thankful to our district. And I would just say to anybody who is teetering on the brink, obviously, to do something like this, it costs money. I mean, but again, you cannot put a price, because it could be your loved member, your loved one, your child, your husband, your wife, your daughter, your son, people that are not even in this school system are affected by CENTEGIX. I
Right.
just think about the little fella, you had his grandmama,
Mhm.
who we got in touch with. You've got mom and dad. Then we had an aunt that met us at the emergency room. Again, the outliers, all of the family members, again, you just cannot put a price to me on safety and getting the help in a timely manner. Because you think about picking up your cell phone, calling 911 in the midst of an emergency where, if you had an intruder and you had to be quiet in your own lockdown,
Mhm. Mhm.
you don't want to be talking because you don't want to be heard. That's
Correct.
silent. Nobody even knows that you've just pressed the button. Again, I can't say enough great things about it, and I appreciate the opportunity to share just our small story. I'm sure y'all have had stories that are much probably bigger emergencies than ours, but we're just so thankful.
no greater story could be told than how it positively impacts the life of a child. And so we definitely appreciate your words, we appreciate your support, and we appreciate the partnership with the Escambia County Schools and CENTEGIX. So again, we thank you for your time, Ms. McBride. I know, again, even though the school year is either at a close or soon to be at a close, so pretty sure you're
Yes.
crazy busy. I remember those days very well.
Yeah.
It's a continuous cycle. It literally doesn't stop. One school year ends and you're already preparing for the next.
For the next, you're exactly right.
So we definitely appreciate your time and we thank you for your words and your thoughts. And again, thank you for your partnership. And we're excited about the work that we continue to do together. And of course, our goal is to help support the most safe and secure environment possible for your school and all of the students of Escambia County. So thank you so much.
Thank you as well. And I appreciate the opportunity to share our story. We're kind of an amazing place, Now we have amazing safety. So we
Well,
love
we're going to make sure we share that story too, right? And so
Yes.
if we can support continuing your efforts to get the most quality teachers and the most quality staff in your school, then we're all for that as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Sims. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you, Ms. McBride. Greatly appreciate it.
Have a good day.
To see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.